Hi, I am Wendy Lieber, co-founder of Content Bacon, and I am here with the amazing Al Alper of Absolute Logic. Say hi to everyone, Al.
Hi, everyone, Al.
So Al's company, he has an IT support management company that really helps companies with all things IT and really making sure that you've got your IT operations maximized from a security standpoint, from just systems and operations. And so, Al, I wanted to have this opportunity today to talk to your customers, talk to your community, really about what they need to know now. Obviously times are very strange right now. A lot of companies have had to completely pivot or adjust how they do business. And I was really interested from your perspective in what you're seeing and how you're supporting your companies and just kind of what you want people to know now, given what we're facing.
Oh, in school I would call that a pregnant question, right? It is a question that is ripe with so much. There's really a lot of interesting things that go on technologically. That's what we do for a living. There's I can't speak. The fact that you've expanded the footprint of your office beyond the four corners of an office space into the homes, like welcome to my office, right? You can see I've practically moved my entire office into the house.
Yeah, it looks like an office.
It takes on a certain amount of added responsibility. It's awe-inspiring if you step back for a moment, and that's not to imply ego whatsoever. There's just so much more that goes into managing and maintaining and incentivizing and disciplining and every other ing that you can think of relative to your team and your stakeholders. And when I talk about team and stakeholders, I'm not just talking about the people that work for me. I talk about the vendors that I do business with. I talk about the clients that rely on us, because we are juggling our life outside the office, and we're juggling all of their lives outside the office as well. And managed service providers in general have a very unique place in the world of business. And I'm not saying that because I'm an IT provider, though I'm afforded that vantage point of visibility. But we spend our lives managing chaos, right? Every day is a different day in our business. And that's not business as usual. I call it actually business unusual.
Right.
And so what people are living through today, we've actually been living through from the inception of this business, my business, as well as the inception of every other business like me, because we've got over 140 clients. Every one of them has line of business applications and employees and vendors, all of whom we're responsible for, at least to the extent that they interact with the technologies that we manage, maintain, enhance, optimize, fix, right? So when a copier goes wrong in a traditional office's environment, they fix the copier.
Right.
When a copier goes wrong in a networked environment, or let's say there's a bad piece of firmware that's been deployed by a vendor and it hits 18 clients as opposed to one copier, it's a madhouse. So the chaos caused by our current situation is actually business unusual for us. And so in a lot of ways we are well equipped. And I said early on in this crisis to some of my colleagues that we are uniquely positioned to lean in and assume a leadership role during this. I mean, so many of our clients, and not because they're not smart people or not because they're not confident, but didn't know where to go, literally didn't know where to begin. And that's how we woke up in the morning every day,
right.
That's how we do business also. So at the very beginning of this is back in late February, frankly, when it started to be crystal clear, this was headed here, and it wasn't going to be pretty. And again, not because I'm the smartest guy in the room. It's just like, okay, we get to see certain things at our vantage point. That I said, you know something, let's start to assemble some things to help our clients navigate this so that they're not going to be freaking out when this hits the fan. One of the things we did, we started a work from home webinar series. And that series, kind of like what you're doing here, that series is designed to get them through it. And we had over 100 people, not just my clients, but prospects and colleagues who join in on some of our webinars. That because I'll bring in a perfect example is last week we did a webinar on insurance. And yes, I'm an IT service provider, but we also have a lot of insurance clients. And I grabbed one of our clients. I said, listen, I need to know who you buy insurance from, because I don't want anybody selling on these webinars. This is about helping people navigate these current tumultuous waters. And so we brought an insurance company on to talk about the current liability of work from home, because traditional workman's comp and traditional D&O, E&O, and property and casualty insurances, do they cover my office in the house?
Right.
Do they cover me if I fall in the office, but not if I fall in my living room? And so they're questions that you don't think about, especially business owners who are busy trying to wonder if their clients are going to pay them, if their clients are going to be around. If they're in the retail space, they're totally freaking out. So in that regard, that we're able to bring people in that can speak to things that maybe has been niggling in the back of their mind, but they've been too busy to think about, or maybe it's something they've been thinking about, didn't know where to turn. So we've been doing things like that to help our clients navigate this tumultuous water. And to be frank, it's helped me too, right? It's there are things that I didn't think to ask, that when they would bring these up, I'm like, wow, I didn't really think about that. The example is if I fell in my office and versus the living room, like didn't even think about that, frankly. So he did, which was really good. So that was very well attended. And then we do that on Thursdays. Every Thursday is a business-centric guest speaking webinar, just to address different facets of the business that are certainly outside our realm of expertise, but every business owner who is responsible for one or more stakeholders is asking themselves or will be asking themselves.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was a long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
That's all right. There was a lot of really good information. And I've been so impressed by your approach to, how I can help kind of mentality, which I think is, I've seen a lot of companies stepping up and doing that, which, I think is a good way to be in general, but, we've really seen that a lot recently. So, what are some other things you're doing, and maybe what are some hot topics with your customer base that you're seeing that they are facing or dealing with now that we're kind of 6 weeks into this?
So some of the other things that I've been doing, I'll start with that, and then we'll move to some of the hot topics of our clients. So as you mentioned early on, I've got actually two companies. So Absolute Logic, we're a managed services company, and then CyberGuard360, we're actually a vendor to managed service companies where we provide cybersecurity platforms and services to IT providers like Absolute. And I mention that because in both Absolute and CyberGuard360, we're doing things that are community supportive. And what I mean by that is, in CyberGuard, we stood up a site called MSP Strong to get vendors together. For every vendor, like ourselves, like CyberGuard, we wanted to do something. We didn't think of it first. We're Americans, for God's sake. People are in trouble. When people are in trouble, we stand up, we do something, right? So we just wanted to stand up and do something. And every one of us, independent vendors, wanted, what can I give to the community? And there were just 1,000. It became noise, right? There's 1,000 voices screaming, "Hey, I want to do this for you." The problem is how do you help the people you are trying to help hear you at the same time as hear everybody else. You don't want to hear them over everybody. You don't want them to hear you over everybody else, because maybe they need other people. But at the same time, you don't want to create such a cacophony that it adds to the chaos instead of enhances the quality of life they're currently living in. And so we stood up MSP Strong as a way for vendors to share in one voice to say, here, I want to help you. And that's been really, really good. It's been incredibly rewarding for us, personally rewarding for us. And it's been really both as a vendor who's doing it, as well as a consumer of those very donations. So Absolute is consuming the very donations that are brought to the platform as well. So that's been very rewarding on both sides. On the Absolute side, I'm doing a very similar thing. So one of the things that we did in Logic about a month ago is I went to a variety of my peers we are essential services. IT services are essential services, though I think the list of essential services is longer than the list of non-essential services, frankly. And I said, listen, there's a lot of we are fortunate enough that most of our business will be around through this, depending on how long this lasts. What can we do to be supportive? And so we've been doing things like financially helping some of our clients out. Like, let me proactively either foregoing fees or discounting or just raising funds and saying here. So we've been doing that in terms of supporting local restaurants and a variety of other things. And then simultaneously with that, much like this work from home, let me get these experts in to talk about helping your business. So that's another aspect of it. But simultaneously with that, we also take customers who are in need, if you would, clients that are in need, and not necessarily ours. Like, these are my colleagues and I get together and we spotlight them. Like, hey, anybody out there that can help, we'd love to have you join in on that support. And again, I am always amazed, impressed, and admiring of my fellow citizens. They continue to stand up and do the right thing in spite of the day-to-day noise. So
yeah. So then what, on the second part of that question, have you noticed, are there specific issues that your clients are dealing with, like hot topics, like what, you mentioned that a lot of your clients, are in somewhat good positions to survive this, depending on how long it lasts, but what are some of the things that, you guys are really helping them with?
So perhaps the two biggest things that we've been helping them with is funding, both in terms of a resource where to find, as well as being able to provide some level of relief, either directly through our services or a level of relief vis-a-vis actually giving them some capital to help survive through the community. But also we've been cultivating a list of funding resources. So I've tasked some of my team to do nothing but identify where within our sphere of influence and information are there opportunities at either grants or low cost loans or actually outright gifts. And so that's also been very rewarding for us to be able to do that. But simultaneously, it's amazing to me how many people are out there doing, giving. It's just incredible how many people are out there giving. And we when I send out a blast about a new funding source, and we probably send it out to 6,000 people, give or take an ish, between our client base and our prospect base and our partner base. Our open rates go through the roof. And it's, I look at that as how insatiable the need is because right now cash is king.
Yeah.
If you don't know what it's going to look like next week.
Right.
And so the ability to help our clients and prospect know that they'll have enough cash in the bank to be there tomorrow and to be there next week and next month, hopefully, and next year, is probably the biggest thing, because people are still very, for as stable and and I believe long-term stable our client base is, who knows in 6 months if this were to last. So, you know, it's something I think about and plan for. At the same time, it's nothing that stops me from leaning in and moving forward.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Anything else you want to share with your community?
You know, we're here to help, in all honesty. If there's anything that I can do, if there's any information you need, I have a very wide and diverse and deep network of relationships. For some reason or another, people seem to like me. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. But, you know, if there's any questions, that, like, here's a prime example. This Thursday, we're going to have a national labor attorney on our webinar at 11 to 12, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays is technology. Thursdays is reserved for business tips or business insights. And so we're having a labor attorney on to talk about, you know, as a business owner and also as an employee, you know, what are your obligations and your rights and your protections under law, not by insurance. Insurance was last week. Because those are questions that I personally have had as a business owner.
Yeah.
That I am not alone. I mean, our registration rate went through the roof. So, if there's anything I can encourage people to do, is just jump on our Thursday webinars if you're a business owner. If for no other reason than we're bringing in the talent who knows this stuff, and that can help answer questions that you may have, or even answer questions you didn't know you had until they start answering them. Which is what's even more amazing.
That's awesome. So we'll make sure to put your contact information and how to sign up for those webinars or how to get involved with MSP Strong in the information. But I want to thank you. It's amazing. I agree with you. Human beings are incredible, and most are, you know, wanting to help and do the right thing. And this has really brought a lot of incredible people together. So thank you so much for your time and the information, and just keep on moving forward.